Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Glad you're here. Hope you're getting ready for an awesome weekend. Pam and Scott join me today, and we're taking you to Disney training camp, getting you ready for your next Disney adventure, just like the football teams are getting ready for the upcoming seasons. We're talking about those things that are helping you prepare to have a successful Disney trip on today's show. So we have a good time, kind of tongue in cheek, but also some great tips there. And Pam will give a harrowing story, which will give you a cold sweat, but it'll help you to make sure that you don't miss your next Disney cruise. I promise you that. So enjoy today's show and take some notes, because we're trying to help you have a better Disney vacation. Don't forget, today's podcast always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online, those back to school supplies and all that stuff. Just click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our All-Stars. Those are our Patreon supporters. Can't thank you enough for that support. You can support us as well. It's just $5 a month. And when you do that, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2740 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you here in the podcast studios in lovely Weldon Spring, Missouri. Got the bike shorts on, the tube socks, and the whistle around my neck. It's training camp for all of us Disney fans. You better be ready. We're getting you ready for your next Disney vacation today. That's right. All the football teams out on the gridiron putting in two-a-days. Actually, probably not. You can't do that anymore. Used to be able to do that in the 80s and the 90s. Now you just got to take it so easy. A little bit of walkthroughs. Let's watch some film. Let's do a little, it's kind of soft nowadays, but yeah, they're still out there getting a little bit ready. We're going to get you ready for your Disney vacation. We're going to talk about those things you need to do before your trip to ensure success. So when you get down to your trip, you have a good time. So let's play with this a little bit, because that's what all the football teams are doing right now. They're preparing, they're getting ready, just laying out the plan so that their team and the season is perfect. That's what we do before our trip. I mean, if you, honest to God, you go over to our Discord, Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse, you will see every day collaboration. We have the best community, the best family over there, people working together to lay out the perfect lightning lane strategy, the perfect ADR strategy every day, every hour almost. It's happening in the clubhouse. It's amazing, the communal spirit. I love this community. So joining us today, the all-stars of this. I mean, this is the all-star coaching squad. Scotty G from Must See Adventures joining us right here. What's up, Scotty G? Happy Friday.
Hey, Coach, defensive coordinator here, reporting for camp. Very excited to talk about what we're doing here to prepare for vacations.
Ready to go. Yes. So
I got a good game plan. The X's and O's are already marked on my sheet, and now we just got to get the playmakers out there to perform.
That's right. Time for some up downs. Let's go. If you don't pay attention. If you got a kid that's squirrely, looking out there, a squirrel, you got to get him back on point. Let's go. All right, Pam Forster here. She's co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, running this circus. Pam, what's going on? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I guess if Scotty's defense, then I'm on offense.
Absolutely.
So we'll start with that. But no, I think this is kind of what we do now, right? Since I clearly don't prepare for my own trips anymore, I'm glad that I'm at least involved in helping other people prepare for those trips, because I will tell you, I've been showing up with little done in advance, rolling in sort of by the skin of my teeth, doing everything that I tell everybody else not to do. So
Well, little behind the scenes here. We always try to make the show seasonal and to trying to tie into current events. So this is a thinly, veiled, theme here to kind of make it fun for everybody, which we're going to do today. That's what we're doing. But informational so that you can be ready for your trip. And that's kind of what we do. We informational education. It's a super stretch. Exactly. It's
do what we say, not what we do.
Exactly. I'll be the special teams coordinator today. We'll see what happens.
Good.
I'll do a little punting, a little kickoffs, and maybe some kick returns. Who knows? So, first thing I was going to throw out there is a tip, and this could go for, especially the land vacations, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, but, cruises, sometimes you go on port adventures. I'm not kidding. You do have to kind of take your physical fitness into account. If you're going to go to Walt Disney World, especially during the summer, any time of the year, but especially when it's warm, I would encourage you to, get up off the couch and maybe go for a walk or two before you go on vacation, because when you go to Walt Disney World, especially, you're going to put in a few miles on your feet, just getting from the front, getting off the bus at Epcot, walking back to the backside of World Showcase. That's a good mile and back. I mean, you're going to probably walk, I would say, a minimum of 5 miles a day, maybe upwards of 10 miles a day on a vacation. And you take that times a week, you could surprisingly put in 50 to 70 miles on your feet. And if you're somebody who works in an office and is not used to getting around much, I don't say you got to get out and train for a marathon or anything, but just, getting around, walking in your neighborhood after dinner, maybe a month, 2 months before your trip, getting some nice sneakers that are comfortable, those kind of things, no kidding, are going to serve you well for your next Disney vacation. Scott, what do you say about that? I mean, I think getting up and just kind of getting a little physical activity rolling 2-3 months before the trip gets you prepared.
It was the first thing on my list was walking. Because land, sea vacations, whatever. Yeah, you're going to be doing some walking for sure. And you said 3 to 4 months before. Yeah, I agree with that. I think when it gets closer to crunch time, I think is when you really got to start amping it up too. And what we like to do is like kind of visualize it. Like just think like, let's take a walk and let's visualize where we are at Walt Disney World. Like if you've been before, and like, hey, let's just think that we're getting off the People Mover right now, and let's walk over and get a Dole Whip right now. And we'll just kind of like visualize that in our neighborhood, because it kind of makes those walks a little bit more fun. I kind of do that all the time, actually, when I do like a walk or a training run. Like just think of a cool place that I've been to, because when you see the same houses and the same sidewalks all the time, you need a little motivation sometimes. So, but I think that's really a great tip. But I will say sometimes the weather can impact that, especially where all three of us live. If you're taking a trip in February and you live in Pittsburgh, you live in East Lansing, going outside for a walk is going to be rough sometimes, but sometimes you got to bundle up. But I'll tell you, it's going to pay some dividends. Just get some miles on those legs, I think is a good idea before the trip. I'm sure I see Pam kind of nodding. I think she agrees with this as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's challenging, let's just say.
Yes.
What do you think though, as far as, I think too, sometimes to help with something like this, like getting yourself like moving, preparing, because you're gonna want to buy like some maybe active wear for the trip, especially sneakers, right? The comfortable shoes. You got to break them in. You don't want to. Some people do want to keep them fancy and fresh for the trip, but I think that's a mistake. You want to get out there and walk on them. I think that's a good opportunity to get out there and get yourself some good sneakers and get out in the neighborhood and break them in and get some miles on them. What do you think, Pam?
Yeah, you don't have a shoe that you order consistently that out of the box works for you. Like I have these 2 or 3 New Balance styles that I order. In fact, every time I see them even $10 on sale, I'm stocking up because they don't really go on sale. So I'm ordering and I have stocks. Like I have 2 or 3 pairs waiting in the wing. So I know out of the box, they fit me, never a blister, whatnot. But if you don't have something like that, then get your shoes and break them in, because I think you see a lot of people with blister issues at the World. Like first of all, some people have made poor footwear choices. Let's be honest.
Oh my gosh.
I see some
yes.
of the shoes that people roll in with, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yes.
What's happening here?
That should
It
be like
should
a
not be.
TikTok account or like an Instagram account, just like just sneakily snap pictures of people in high heels. You know, what are you doing?
Right. Or other just bad shoe choices. Like I've definitely seen people in UGG like slippers. And again, I'm like, it's 100, first of all. It's the summer. I can't imagine
But
what
you
those
look so
smell
cute.
like.
But you look so cute, and your little piggies are so warm. They're so snug.
Yes. I would be mad if I were staying in that same room with that person. You know, when they take those off at night, that's not smelling good.
Yes.
That's not going to be a good situation. But anyway,
Today's
it's
vocabulary word is pungent.
that's right. But just bad shoe choices and like a lot of slip-ons and things like that. Again, I don't know. Maybe it's just my stage in life, but as you get older, the plantar fasciitis is real. A shoe that you have to grip all day with your toes is not going to be kind to you. Certain flip-flops I can do, but there are certain ones that are just like you look at them and you're like, how is it even comfortable? Like that's sliding off of your foot. So anyway, some real shoe choices there that you need to make.
I agree. Like I'm not. We will not go the whole show on this, but I see people like deep. We could because I see people deep like in Epcot, right? I mean, like in Germany. Like I mean, you're way back there at that point, and they'll have on those like 1970s flip flops. If you're by vintage, you know what I'm talking about. Like the ones that got the strap and it's got the like the thong between like the big toe and the second toe, right? I'm like, for the love of God, how have you made it this far with that footwear? Like
Yes.
that would be. I mean, if somebody
That's
offered
why they're
me
drinking them around the world. They're
probably, but I'm like, if somebody offered me $100 to walk from like Spaceship Earth to Germany in those things, I don't think I could do it for $100. Like I just at this point in my life, no way. Like, and I mean, I know we wore those like in the 70s, like that they had those straps and they were like rainbow colored and like they, you know, it was like the thing. Our parents put those on us. I don't know, and like we were tougher then, I guess. But I see people, I'm like, whew, you're stronger than I am.
It's true, and the people whose feet hang off of their shoes too, like their sandals and flip-flops. Like I always wonder what happens there. Like, are you not happy with your shoe size? Because like I think of your shoe size as being something that like you're in a lot of control of, right? Your shoe size is sort of your shoe size. It's not dependent on other activities in your life. It just sort of is. So I just don't understand it. I don't know. I don't understand some of the shoe choices.
Well, it's because they took away that thing. Like when we were kids, you used to go into the shoe store and you'd put your foot on that thing. It was like black and like it would slide. They'd just like put on your big toe and it'd tell you like, you are a 7.5. Like,
right. Yeah.
Those things don't exist anymore. You just guess
They
and
just
go on
allow
Amazon.
people to get whatever size they want.
Exactly. That's a breakdown of society nowadays. Anyway, we can't fix everything today. Scott, what do you got? Give us some.
Well, this might be a little controversial, maybe, but
as much as the shoe thing.
Exactly, the shoe size or black thing. I don't know. What
I don't do this necessarily, but this is more so for my people on the dining plan. If you're on the dining plan, I think it's really important to work on expanding your stomach before your trip. And what I mean by that, like get accustomed to eating big meals every day, because you're going to be eating a lot of big meals on your trip. So I'm saying like eat a big breakfast, eat the big lunch, have some desserts at night, because you want to be able to enjoy that. You want to get value out of your dining plan, right? So expand that stomach, start eating out more. And I know, like, I've seen people in the Discord, like Mohawk, saying like, I'm not eating out for the next 80 days before my trip. And that's a good strategy. That's a good money saving.
That's a financial choice, I think, which I adhere to.
I'm going the opposite of the financial choice. I want you to pig out. I want you to go crazy on this. Expand that stomach so you can take advantage of enjoying those great, delicious meals that you're going to have on your trip. What do you guys think about this? The stomach expansion.
Yeah, you just want people to get the best value.
Yes. And then when you come back home, then you start doing the more walking. Maybe this contradicts with the walking. That's the thing. Like, you can't do both. That's the problem. Because if you're doing all the walking and then you're trying to expand the stomach, like they don't work well together, do they?
I'm thinking, now I think about this, that's kind of maybe what Christmas cookies do, because like I eat Christmas cookies like leading up to Christmas and like the big meal at Christmas, because I'm like constantly like eating Christmas cookies from like December 1st all the way until we have the big meal at Christmas time. So I'm just like, building up my
ready
Santa
for it.
Claus belly.
That's what Santa Claus is doing. Right.
Exactly. Like, that's a good point. I get, because you're right though. I mean, and I think this is very true of cruises.
I'm being funny here. Obviously,
no, I know
but
you
yeah.
are, but no, honest to God though. But I mean, like, cruises is kind of the thing too. Like, if you're somebody who like for me, I eat one breakfast burrito every morning, and then I eat a turkey sandwich for lunch, and then I eat terribly for dinner. Like, that's just my jam. That's what I eat the same thing every day. And then I go on a cruise, right? And so you get all these awesome meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you're not used to that, man, it destroys you.
It does.
Because you're just like,
you're eating 3 eggs Benedicts
oh,
every morning.
I know. And you're just like, I mean, because the food is so good. And you're just like, you can't help yourself. I mean, it does. Like when I'm on a cruise, I'm just like, it's like I'm in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
That's why you really have to slow down and make sure you're getting your vegetables on these cruises, Mike.
Forget vegetables on the cruise, man. The vegetables when you get home. No. I mean, just bring on the soft serve machine. Just, it's so good. Like, which dessert are you having, sir? Every one of them, please. Except I don't need the no sugar one. Thank you. We'll pass. All right, Pam. I like that though, because you know what, and that's why we go to Dairy Queen every Friday and Saturday nights. We're ready for the next.
You're expanding your stomach for your next.
Exactly.
Yes.
And like my philosophy in life is like, if you stay prepared, you don't have to get prepared. Like just you're always ready. Like if somebody says, "Hey, we got to go," I'm ready.
And this is why we have one of the top defensive lines here in the podcast industry, right here.
Stay
That's
prepared.
true.
You don't have to get prepared.
Very true.
All right, Pam. What do you got? With all the good nuggets today.
So I'm going to tell you that this is the time you're going to want to prep your phone, to get your phone ready. First of all, if you're like me, you have 20,000 plus photos on your phone, you're going to need to make some room for those. So it's time to go through. Maybe what you're going to do is back up and delete some ones, there. Maybe you're going to look at some of those pocket videos that you took that are like 5+ minutes long.
Yes.
You're going to decide now's the time to eliminate those,
and
right?
check the audio on those, because who knows what you're saying while that thing was rolling.
It's true. But in all honestness, you're going to want to make sure that you have the apps downloaded on your phone, whether you're going to World or Land or Cruise or Alani or wherever you're going. Make sure that you have that app. Make sure you have enough space on your phone. If you're not willing to delete, you're going to have to purchase some more storage, and that's okay too. We allow that to happen. Storage is cheap. So consider that. Make sure that you also, especially if you're going on a cruise or an Adventures by Disney vacation, that you have access to some of your important documentation, be it your passport or whatnot. Have a place that you can access that in the cloud somewhere. God forbid something were to happen and you would lose one of those. At least having a picture of it is really helpful to help during that time. And you might as well go ahead and put your driver's license up there too, because that would help you if you were to lose your driver's license and are flying home or driving home or whatnot. So just make sure that you have access to all the things that you're going to need on your phone, and you have space available to add a bunch of those pictures and videos that you're going to take.
I'm totally scared to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it because this is what we do here. Have either one of you had any kind of issue with like documentation on a trip, like losing a license or a passport or anything like that? Or
Yes.
You have? So like, I mean, you've been in a predicament like this where you've had to encounter something like this?
I will tell you, this is before COVID, and probably before, I don't know if it was before or after 9/11, but let's just say, so we cruised often, right? So often that we walked out of our house without our passport and without our birth certificates, and we were going on a cruise. Like at times, sometimes the familiar is, it's a detriment, right? Because you're like, I do this all the time. So whatever. So we got to the port before I realized it. We were standing in the terminal. Yes, at Disney Cruise Line. Yes.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
But I'm Pam Forrester. Like, you know me. You know
You know
me.
I
I'm on
am.
this ship all the time.
You don't understand how little that gets you. First of all, it's humbling. Humbling. No, I'm just kidding. It is true. So we had sailed many times on Disney Cruise Line. So we walk up to the Castaway Club desk. I explained the situation. I said, fully on me, 100%. I said, this either works and you can work with me or it doesn't. And I said, either way, it is my fault.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not mad at anyone but myself. So I went in very humble and I'm like, if you can help me out, if there's anything we can do to make this happen, I will move heaven and earth to do that. But if there's not, then I'm gonna get on the phone, book my family a stay at Walt Disney World, and that's where we're going for the next, you know what I mean? Because we were there.
But
So they could see my passport from the last time I had cruised. It's still a valid passport. And so what I did was they asked if there was a neighbor that could go and get a copy of this and send it to me. And that's what happened. A neighbor went into my house and this is how far back it was.
yeah, I
Fax.
wouldn't. I couldn't have a neighbor that would have a key or access
No,
to
the
my.
the neighbor came down the chimney and
Yeah,
committed
there we go.
committed a felony like Santa Claus, but it was all good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so we did that, and that's what happened. And in the end, that like having cruised before and having done that saved me. That probably would not work today.
Yes, I doubt that would.
Just
Yeah.
no, right. But what was so funny is, so we had this, and Disney Cruise Line printed it out for me, a copy of this, whatever, and they cleared us through and they said we're fine. So when we get off the ship, we were going through customs or to get back into the country. We're at the Disney Cruise Line terminal, and the agent and now you hardly have to do this at all because it's you just sort of walk through, right?
Yep.
But he said, do you have your passport with you? And I said, no, we don't. I said, that was, we don't have our passport with us. I said, we have copies of this right here. And so he looked at it all and handed us a piece of paper that basically said you need to get passports. And he said, I'm going to advise that you get passports in the future. And I wanted to be like, dude, you are holding a copy of them right now, like literally holding a copy. I mean, I know that you want to scold me, and you can,
Yes.
but to tell me that your advice is that I should get passports when you're holding it, like, okay, sure, that's what we'll do, sir. We're gonna get on it now. But like, so anyways, in the end, but it did work out. But yeah, my heart stopped.
Wow.
I'm just like,
That's stressful.
I cannot believe that we did this. But anyways, Disney Cruise Line was great. And they said you would not even believe the people that show up without any documentation.
Oh my gosh, that just made me get a cold sweat because like it's just that
I
whole
know,
thing,
right?
like it's just like you get somewhere like and you just like when you have that feeling like, oh my god, where's my phone or where's my keys, but that's the
Yeah.
ultimate like, oh my god,
It's the
where's my
worst.
passport?
It was totally the worst. And I
Like,
owned a travel agency at that point. So I mean, so I guess it had to be after 9/11. Yeah, I don't know. Just the whole thing. It was honestly so frightening. But let me just tell you what we do every time we get in the car now before we go
yes.
someplace. We're always like, do we have this? Do we have this? Yes. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to touch the passports
Yeah.
now. And so we do touch the passports. So
Yeah.
learn from my mistakes.
No,
on this one.
and I mean that's why we do the show. I mean, honestly, I mean your error could cause 10 people to not have to go through that. I mean, seriously, dude, I'm
hope
not
so.
kidding. I got a cold sweat just listening to your story. That's
I know.
the
I hope,
worst
and that's
nightmare.
why when you've ever booked with us, you know that we send a
Hound
couple
you.
different recommendations about your passport for your cruise because
'Cause of
we want
Pam.
you to, even if you have passports, we want you to go and look at the
Yes.
expiration date because they should be valid for at least 6 months after you travel too. And we've had guests who say, I know you sent me that email to go check my expiration date. I thought I knew what it was, so I didn't do it. And now I found out it has expired. I'm like, oh. So anyways,
That'd be stocked down if you get there and you have an expired passport.
it's true.
Scott, have
It
you
is.
had anything like that? Hopefully not.
I've kind of did. I went
Oh my
to
gosh, you guys are killing me.
I went to TSA and they asked for my ID. and I didn't have it. I didn't have my ID. And this is actually the one time I flew out of Lansing, because there was actually a flight to Orlando out of Lansing the one time. And I learned that they will just play like 20 questions with you, kind of. They'll just ask you a bunch of questions because they have your photo and stuff, you know. So I just answered like 5 or 6 questions about me. Apparently they knew stuff about me, and then they just let me go through. And then and I was like, well, how am I gonna rent the car and all this stuff? Because like the car rental was in my name. I was like, I got through this piece. Like, are they gonna let me through like in Orlando? Like Lansing is such a small airport. And then like, so I'm still like freaking out, and like I'm asking my in-laws, like, can you guys drive and like go into our house and find my ID? Maybe I could still get it, you know? And then like I'd look in my bag, and like it was buried in my bag somewhere. It just like it like slid out somewhere. So like that was like the only like little like scare I had, but it worked out for me. But
So I'm gonna
it was no passport thing. I didn't like get all the way to the cruise terminal.
Right?
Like, oh my gosh,
I know.
I was sweating when you told that story.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm putting all kinds of content warnings on this show because this is going to give like our Type A listeners, they're going to freak out when they listen to this show.
Like this is like a great training camp examples right here.
Truly, I know. And I love at some place now when I ask Chat GPT about myself, it'll bring up this, that I own a travel agency and I've done this. But I'm just being honest.
Yes,
like I'm truly just being honest.
Great real life scenario.
Done it. Been there.
For the record, don't ask Chat GPT to roast you, because it will. But we're fine with that. We know. We brought it on ourselves. Okay, so we're kind of piggybacking on yours. Mine was going to be well, I'll save that one. Mine is before your trip. Also, I say to triage your technology bag, and I don't know if you guys bring a technology bag like besides your luggage, but I have like it's my laptop bag. And for me, as the dad of the family, like I also have to make sure that I'm the walking power bank guy for the whole family. So I got to make sure not only do I have my like rechargeable batteries for my phone charged, but I have to have enough that'll supply the other 3 members of my traveling party, because I will inevitably, I nurse my electronics pretty well, where Mallory especially will leave the house like when we're going to the airport with her phone at like 28%, which I don't understand. Like we're getting ready for a full day of travel, right? At 7 o'clock in the morning. Did you not have your phone plugged in all night? Like, and were you not like having it plugged in all the way until we leave the house? Like we're going to be in the air. We're going to be in airports. We're going to be traveling all day. How are you leaving the phone with 28%? Like, it's going to be a full day of travel. And do you not have 2 other batteries? Because everybody in the family, I buy her a new external battery every year. It's like a stocking stuffer because they're always cheap on Amazon, right? Because the kid, she needs them. It's like she has a full day of school, then she cheerleads. It's like the magnetic thing. You put it on the back of your phone. Nope, she thinks they're disposable. Like you use them one time and then you don't recharge them. Like, no, they only work if you recharge them. It's a whole thing. But I think it's a great time, just real quick, to triage your bag. Like make sure you have your chargers, they're all good. Make sure you have all the cabling you might need. Especially for cruise line. Speaking of cruise line, make sure everything you have is going to get through the screening process. Like some power strips will be banned and they'll get taken. So check to make sure that it's going to be something that will work and that will be able to get through, that you can carry on. And just go through. And also here's a big thing. Take the stuff out that you don't need. A lot of times those bags will get heavy because you'll just keep throwing junk in there over the years. And like you'll have all kinds of USB, regular USB cables that no longer are needed because you have USB-C only stuff on your phone. And, I think that you just got to go through there and just start ripping stuff out that you no longer use. So I think before the trip, triage that laptop and technology bag and take what you need, throw out what you don't, keep it light, and go from there. So that's a tip I have for training camp. So Scott, what you got?
That's a great one, Coach. Appreciate that. My next one is currency. Like to have some cash money on me when I travel, and sometimes I'm bad about this, and I don't even follow this practice. So I'm glad we're having this conversation today, because I will forget I will forget to go to my credit union or go to the ATM because sometimes I want smaller bills, so then I'll go to the credit union and like all I'm getting are 20s, and sometimes I want 5s and 10s, you know. So I think it's really good. Maybe like a week before, just go to your credit union or your bank and just get some cash. I know cash can be risky sometimes because if you lose it, boom, it's gone. So in today's world, you can use your credit cards, Apple Pay for most everything. But I like to give gratuities for those that are given like a service on the cruise line, like especially on cruise line. For I like to give a little extra a lot of times on those envelopes, or someone handles your bag at Bell Services. Like it's really embarrassing for me personally, like if I don't have something to give them.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like I like to just make sure I have a good amount of cash on me. So, and I don't want to go to the ATM. Like I mean, there's ATMs at a lot of places, but then there's like a fee. So I mean, $5 fee, whatever. But you know, that's $5 that can go towards a Mickey bar later on in the trip. So I just like to handle my currency before the trip. So I think that's something that in your planning process, just make sure you're doing that beforehand, and I think it's going to make you well prepared for your great vacation.
Funny story with that. I always get caught in a pickle, right? Because like I'll take the first flight out, and I'll have to leave the house like at 3 a.m. And I never carry cash. But what I'll do is, and this is like so I'll stop it. We have a QT, which if you don't know what QT is, it's like a gas station that's got like all the soda machines and stuff. And so I go in there and I'll buy a pack of, so I'll go to the ATM machine, but the ATM machine, the smallest bills it gives out is 20s. So I'll get a couple of 20s. But the thing is, like, I need smaller bills than 20s because the person who drives the first person I'm going to tip at the airport in St. Louis that drives like you from the lot to in the church van to drop you off at the terminal. Like, I don't want to tip them a 20. I mean, I'm a big tipper, but like they only handle my bag. Like I hand them my bag to get on the little church van and they drive me, like 5 minutes and drop me off at the terminal. And they really don't handle my bag. They just really drive me, but I always tip them like, $5-10. So I don't want to give them a 20, right? But I need this because I'm going to need it when I get back, and so forth. I need something less than a 20, basically is what I'm saying right off the bat. So the only thing the ATM machine gives us at the QT is a 20. But the thing is, like, I always buy so I get my 20s out of the ATM at the QT, but then I buy a pack of Big Red so that, some gum. So I buy something, but I always think that the guy back there is scared I'm going to rob him because because I'm like having him open the cash register and I'm the only one there at like 3:12 a.m. Like it's a really nervous kind of situation. Like, cause he's always kind of looking around, like, is this dude robbing me? I'm like, no, I'm just going to the airport. I need gratuities. Like, I try to explain to him, like, dude, you're not getting robbed. Like, this is for tips. But I mean,
it's kind of weird to explain to someone, no, you're not getting robbed. That's like what a person robbing someone would say.
Exactly. That's what it is. I think that's what it is. Cause like I'm going in, I'm kind of looking around. Cause like I have this backstory that I think the clerk thinks that I think I'm going to rob him. And like, maybe he's not even thinking this at all. Maybe I have it all in my head. And like, I'm making him nervous cause I think I'm making him nervous. I don't know. I got this whole thing. And one time he's like, dude, I can't, because I think one time I'm like, can you give me a bunch of 5s for these 2 20s? That's what I think I set him off. Like, did I think, because I was trying to get him to open the register. Yeah, I think I made him really
This is why
nervous.
I like to go to my credit union like the Saturday, the weekend before, and get the denominations that I want.
Yeah, don't do it at 3:12 a.m.
And to tie it into my story, I didn't want to say this at the time because I said, oh, my ID was buried in my bag somewhere because I knew this was going to be my next answer. My ID was buried with my cash envelope that I got from the credit union earlier that day on this one trip. So that's why I couldn't find my ID that one time I went through TSA because it was buried in the cash envelope. So yeah. When you get to the credit union, make sure you get your ID back, or else your travel plans might have a damper because you don't have your ID.
That's a good point. It was super cold.
But this is also good too. Like if you're going on like a European vacation or going somewhere international to do some currency exchange. Like I have, I'm sure every town kind of has a little like place where you can go to. So when we went to Europe, like, I don't know how much euros you might want to need, but like, I think it's good to just do some exchanging beforehand too. Just kind of look at the rates. But I think it's also good if you're doing some international travel to get the currency that you need beforehand.
That's a great point. I mean, and too, this was a marathon weekend. Like this QT's right on the highway and it was super cold. And I had on a ski mask.
Get out of here.
Just kidding.
And then Goofy came out with a chainsaw or something too, or what?
Right.
Just seeing if you're paying attention. All right, Pam, give us something else we got.
So I'm gonna say the other thing that you're going to need to sort of train yourself to do is to pay for literally everything on your vacation. Like the amount of money that is going to be coming out of your
Yes.
account or being placed on a credit card is probably not what it is on your typical week when you're at home. There just isn't. There's just so much going on. And of course, this is a little tongue in cheek, but what you're going to want to do as early as you can is set aside money so that you have the money there to pay for these things. So it is not such a shock when you get home. And I think there's nothing worse than coming home to like a big bill or excuse me, any of that stuff. Like I think you just really need to prepare for that. I know that a lot of people get Disney gift cards and sort of set those aside so they can use those on their trip. We do. I like arriving with everything paid off and everything I think I will spend, having the money set aside for that. But I think if you can do that, it will be a lot less stressful during the time. You don't have to always be looking at the menus and like being like, okay, kids, here's the thing. Not going to get anything from this part of the menu. Everyone is getting water and having an appetizer. I mean, if that's the way you want to do it, that's what you can do. But, you don't have to have that fight. But just be used to the fact that you're at a vacation destination. Restaurants there are probably going to be pricier than the ones that you have at home or just for the same thing. That's just how it's going to be. So familiarize yourself with the menus and what things typically cost and whatnot. See if the dining plan would save you money depending on where you're eating, the ages of the people in your party. See if that will save you some money. See if there's anything you can do like that that will sort of keep those dining expenses down, because that's really where your big expense is going to be after you've already paid for your resort and tickets, is that dining expense. So check out the menus, make some good choices, and save some money for sure.
Let me piggyback on that and ask you, because we all three had kids. They're older now. But how did you handle talking to the kids about souvenirs? Because, like, when you had younger kids, your kids are constantly getting bombarded with like stuffed animals, balloons, stuff like that all the time. Like, did you set a daily limit, like one souvenir a day, like a dollar limit per day? Like, did you talk to them beforehand? Scott, how did you do that with Emily? What was the deal?
We tried to keep it as like a one big like item like for a trip, and she would be like day one, right? Like, oh yeah, I want this like awesome thing, and we'd be like, well, that's great, you can get it, but just know we're here for 5 more days or whatever, and that's gonna be it, And then she'd try to sweet talk us or whatever, and like
Yeah.
maybe we give in a little bit, but we would try to be firm, and we a lot of times we were firm. We were always pretty firm with her. But yeah, we just try to be like, yeah, you can get like this one big item, but like just be smart about it. Think about it towards like the middle to the end of the trip. Don't try to get the first thing that you would see. So we tried to limit to like one big souvenir for
Did you
her.
kind of talk about that in the pre-trip, like before you went, like, okay, when we get down there, let's go. There was just something that came up when you got there, like as you went.
Kind of like when we came up there, or like on the flight down, kind of a
Yeah.
thing, And like sometimes too, like that was kind of like in the early days, was like 3, 4, 5, 6, and then eventually kind of came to like, all right, here's a $50 gift
Yeah,
card.
that's exactly
Use
it.
it
Yeah.
like how you want to spend it. If you want to get like a couple stuffed animals and a shirt, well, that probably wouldn't work these days, but maybe a
Yeah.
couple trips that would work. But it started getting to like, here's a gift card for you. And then sometimes like my parents would give her a gift card before a trip or something too, so then she would accumulate all these gift cards, and then that would be really nice for her if she had a little more spending money. But then we just kind of budgeted her that way, just with a gift card.
Nice. So what about with Hannah, Pam? What'd you guys do? Because you guys went pretty frequently. So how'd you handle that?
Yeah, so usually like she had some money maybe that she had been saving when she was younger or worked for as she got older, or would get money, from relatives or whatnot when we were traveling. And we did very much the same. Like when they're younger, I think you really do have to guide them, because you're going to be in the resort about 0.5 seconds and they're going to have picked out
Mhm.
something that they want to spend their money on. And it's probably not going to be the best choice, I will say. They're going to play for it for about 15 minutes and then move, you know what I mean? Going to be disappointed the whole rest of the week. And you're going to have to hear about it. So I think when they're younger, there's a lot of guidance in that space. And there were some things that we were like, yeah, you can buy that, but it's not coming home with you. Like that's not coming into my house. Like it's like
That's
I love
cold.
it.
That's cold.
it's just not. It's just not. And then as they get older, I think that's it's a good natural consequence kind of thing. Like you spent your money on this, whatever it is, insert, this thing, and it wasn't a quality product, wasn't a good choice, that. But then, I think that gives them a little bit of the freedom. And I think that there's always going to be some wins and some loses and some losses in this area. But I think as they get older, giving them the freedom to sort of choose it's a good skill to have. It teaches you some budgeting. It teaches you some, maybe looking for what is going to be a better value, what is going to be something that you're going to use instead of that immediate gratification kind of thing that's hard to resist, I think, even as an adult sometimes. So yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, as I recall, like with Paige, especially like, when this was before Mallory, like we told her she could get one thing at the she got one thing per park, like one souvenir to represent per park. Cause we'd be there for like 10 days. So we go to, this is the Ultimate Park Hopper days. So we'd be, the Magic Kingdom 4 or 5 times, Animal Kingdom 3 times, Magic Studios 4 or 5 times. So like she didn't get on the first day, the second day. She could if she wanted to, but that was that park was dead once she got, like she wouldn't get anything else at that park. So she could get something, each one of the 4 parks. That's kind of how we handled it, like when she was younger. But then, as Scott said, as she got older, it turned into like, you get $100 gift card for the week. And because that was a good, it's a great lesson, I think, for kids that are like 10, 12 to see the value of money. And it's funny because, and Scott, you probably saw this with them. I'm sure you saw this with Emily. I know Emily. Is that how tight they get when all of a sudden it becomes so their tight money, dude? It was like, dude, you'd spend my $100 like in the first 30 minutes we were here, but now that it's 100, dude, how do you still have, how do you still have $78 on day 9 when it's your money? Like it was crazy. Like
it was so crazy. Yeah. And I'll say, like, I mean, we love her. We spoil Emily, so there'll be times like she'd be tight with her money, being really careful and cautious, and then like we'd see something that we really liked that we thought would be good for her, and then we'd be like, well, mom and dad will buy that one for you, like every now and then, like, cause we wanted her to have something, like we want to reward her for like a good report card or something, even though like the trip itself, like is a reward on its own, like, I mean, we spoil our kids. We love our kids, but yeah. But yeah, the gift card is I think a really good, the best way to do it. Because like, as Pam said, I love the budgeting thing, especially when they're younger, because it gives them like, they're doing math. They're learning like a really like life valuable lesson about budgeting, so it's really good. Like we did that around the world in $80 thing when Emily was younger, where she had to go to all 11 pavilions in Epcot and she had $80 and just had to like budget it out. And like, she actually did the opposite of that, Mike. She started in Mexico and bought like this purse, like right off the bat, that was like $20. I'm like, wow, you just really like went above like your average per pavilion there. She's like, don't worry, Dad, I got a strategy, like she bought like a chocolate like in Italy that was like 60 cents or something, so she was smart with that. But anyway,
I would not doubt Emily when it comes to budgeting skills. I'm sure she's got it all. I'm sure she's got a strategy. I trust her way more than I trust myself on that kind of stuff. So now I'd be worried when she gets to Japan, because Japan's got cool stuff in that store.
Dude, like, I know, dude, Japan is dangerous for Emily.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. That'd be a rough one for her. All right, so Scott, you got it, because we're getting a little short on time. We got about 5 minutes left. Do you got anything?
I just had a quick thing, so I don't like to start packing like my stuff like right away. Like I know a lot of people do. They'll roll the suitcases out like 2 weeks before. Like not me. Like I'm really bad about this. I'm a night before kind of guy. Like same. I have a good like visual. Like I know like, all right, this is how many nights. I know I need these many shorts or shirts or whatever. Like I kind of have a good idea. But what I've learned over the years is like, it's the other things, like you were talking about the tech bag, Mike, like, but it's like other accessories I need to start thinking about. And one for me that I wrote down in particular are like sunglasses. I don't know why. Like I love like the running gooders, but like those things come up missing like no other. Like I don't understand it. So like I'll start packing the night before, and then I realize like, where are all my sunglasses at? I don't know where they're at. And then like I'm in this pickle. Like I have no sunglasses to take on this trip. Like what am I gonna do? So I would suggest like maybe like a week before, start thinking about maybe not necessarily like the clothes that you're gonna wear, but some of these other accessories like your hats or like Apple Watch bands or your sunglasses, hair bands, whatever other like accessories that you might need to start thinking about those so that you can make those purchases so that you have them ready for your trip.
Yeah, the fun stuff like that you're going to enjoy on vacation, and like a week out, 2 weeks out, probably start. I'm jealous because like I have prescription sunglasses, so that's one thing I totally miss.
I know,
because now I don't wear my contacts.
Because you don't wear contacts really, and you used to wear contacts.
I used to wear them, but I started like I can see better with my glasses.
Because when I met you, I think you always wore contacts.
I did, but like. Yeah, I just gave in. Like I can see better with the glasses.
So vacation is the only time Liz wears contacts. So that's another thing for Liz on her training camp would be to make sure that she has like her eye appointment scheduled beforehand, or you just make sure she has a re-up on her contacts so that she's got like 10, 11 days worth or whatever before the trip.
That's another great point. Real quick on throw in because I get migraines like fierce, and I always got to make sure that I do not leave home without a week's worth of migraine medicine, because I mean a migraine can shut me down for 3 days, and I have this medicine that you can only take 2 of a day, but I mean it'll knock that thing out like as soon as you take that medicine. But if I don't have that, man, I am out of luck. And I know you take the same thing, so yeah, you gotta.
Oh yeah,
and it's hard to get that stuff.
So yeah, all your prescriptions. Make sure you got a good supply beforehand, and always. I mean, this is a no-brainer for all of us, but make sure you're packing that in your carry-on bag at all times.
All right, Pam, real quick, anything
next to your passport? Yeah,
next to your where's yeah, you're like, where's my passport? I'm always like, I can't forget what it's called, but where's my migraine medicine? I always got one on me.
I know. And I will say, like, for all these things, we still actually have a list for all the important things. It's categorized. We add new things to it when we get to on vacation and we realize that there's something that we forgot, and I'm like, this is our constant conversation. It's on the list. Yes. Did it get checked off?
I hope so.
Nice. I love the physical touch of the passport, though. Like, I think we're going to incorporate that in my family.
Everybody must touch it, like it's like a 5-step verification, like boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Handprint identification, please.
Yes.
Exactly. The other thing I'm going to tell you is, in addition to looking at the menus that I mentioned before, the other thing you may want to look at is to go on Disney's website. And first of all, look at a couple things. You're going to want to look at the park hours and whatnot soon before you leave, because those do change every now and then. But the other section I think you should look at too is the enchanting extras. And you should probably do that more than 60 days before, because there are often times when you get there, you're like, oh, we would have done this if we would have known. And it's like, you can't know everything that's there, but if you take a glance through that, that'll sort of lay out some of the tours that you can do and some of, those little things that you may want to participate in to do that. And I think that, those kind of things sort of enhance the trip. So maybe you're looking at a dessert party, or maybe you're looking at that. There is the volume of information on a Disney vacation is huge. You could read and read and read and read, and there would still be something that you probably just don't know that much about. So I think knowing about those things in the future, and then you may not want to do any of those, and that's completely fine, but at least and you get to make the choice, rather than I didn't know about that, and if I had known about it, I would do this. So you got to spend a little time investing like some time and energy into researching for your vacation too. And while I know we try to make it as easy as we can, sometimes we don't know what you don't know. So this will help you with that.
All right, time to hit the showers. That was a good practice.
That was a good practice, Coach. I think the offense, defense, special teams, we're ready to go, baby.
We're ready. Perfect season. Going undefeated this year. Undefeated. Let's go. Good season ahead. Yes, everybody's having a great trip. Good tips, but if you have more tips, we'll have those Sunday night for the live call-in show. Join us at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Camp will continue to have a great season, and come over to the clubhouse, because that's where we keep the conversation going 24/7. You're invited. If you're not there, just come over to beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse and just jump into the channel, BOGP current show or whatever that one's called, and we'll just keep rolling right along with us. So come on over. We'd love to have you in the clubhouse today. Don't forget, the podcast is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. And you'll get if you're going on a cruise, I promise you'll get an email that says, don't forget your passport like Pam. Well, it won't say like Pam, but it'll say, don't forget your passport. So we take care of you like that. We love you. We want to make sure you get to the port so you get on the boat. That's the whole plan. So come on over. We'll also get you an onboard credit too. It's awesome. So if you're headed to Disney, Walt Disney World, Disneyland, even Disney Cruise Line Adventures by Disney, we'll take care of that trip for you. No additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the all-stars that keep the show on the air. Thank you so much for that. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd sure love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Now, you can follow us all on the social media. I'm at beourguestmike on Instagram, Threads, and X.com. You can follow Pam in the same places at TMFLTPam. And you can follow Scott at Epscott, EPSCOT. But you can also check out Scott at his YouTube channel, which is Must See Adventures. Scott, what's happening on the channel this weekend?
Well, we just had a great episode that featured the luau at Disney's Alani Resort. But this weekend, you should see another episode, more North Shore fun. I love hanging out at the North Shore. Just hit a couple small towns, food trucks, shrimp trucks, all that stuff. And then we end the night at the famous Monkey Pod right across the street from Alani. So if you want some good Mai Tais and all that, check it out. It's going to be a fun episode.
Did you put a spoiler thing that don't watch that hungry? It sounds like you should be careful.
Don't watch it hungry, fish tacos, Mai Tais. I'm trying to remember what all we had. I hadn't edited it yet in real time right now, but I know we had some good stuff for sure.
Sounds good. All right. Like and subscribe. Must See Adventures over on YouTube. Sounds like some good watching for a weekend. So check it out today. All right. Don't forget, we're checking you out this Sunday night. So be a part of the live show. Give us a call. We had a great time last Sunday night and going to have another one this Sunday night, just in about 48 hours. All right. So for Pam and Scott, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great Friday and an awesome weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.